You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. I am Daniel.
I am Clint. Welcome to Locked On Bulldogs here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Daniel and I are celebrating, and you should be too, by the way. Today's episode is brought to you by none other than betonline.net. All your sports book needs. BetOnline.net.
I made a little cheddar with betonline.net just this very evening.
Now, hold on a second, Daniel. We're celebrating for two reasons. One, because we made money. That's the first reason.
That sounds right.
Last week we told you guys, if you don't think the Rams are winning this game, crazy. Now it was a little touch and go there for a while. So
very touch and go.
Wow, but they pulled it out. Second reason, because Matt Stafford, damn good dog, has a ring on his finger after purgatory that is Detroit, getting out there and doing that. It's fantastic to see. Two reasons we're celebrating tonight, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. Really three reasons we're celebrating. And the third being last week was a record-breaking week for the podcast. And so just want to take a moment here on Monday, coming off the Super Bowl. It's the middle of February. There ain't a dang thing in the world going on, but y'all out here still getting after the audio podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. The YouTube videos broke the 2,000 subscriber mark last week and just that number continues to go up, and y'all finding the videos. Appreciate all the comments, appreciate all the thumbs up, appreciate all of you who share the podcast with friends. Glad to have you aboard. We're going to be here the entire off season, and so thank you for making the podcast great. It's going to be a really fun off season. But yes, today, Clint,
Daniel, also, Sunday. I'm going to add a fourth. I forgot to tell you this
fourth reason. This is the whole episode. It's the whole episode.
We blew past 600 episodes here on Locked On Bulldogs. A couple weeks ago, we didn't celebrate. So congratulations to you, blowing past 600 episodes total. Next marker up 600
episodes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
This goes all the way back to the way beginning for the people. Like, this is all the way back, or this is just Locked On episodes.
That's a good question, because I don't know if that counts the imported ones when we made the transition over from Talking Dogs to Locked On Bulldogs, if they imported and counted those. That's a good question. I'm going to get intern Michael on it. Either way, congrats.
600 episodes. You love to see it.
You do.
But really, it's Sunday night right now. It's late in the evening, and you and I have just finished watching the Super Bowl, and really, Leonard Floyd, Sony Michel, there's other dogs in this game, and obviously we're happy for all of them. But really, Matt Stafford is the story of this game, especially if you're a University of Georgia fan. I remember the day after we won the national championship game, Clint. I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was a fantastic day. And I remember I said to my buddy, if you don't think that Matt Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams are not going to win the Super Bowl, then you're a crazy person. I don't know what to tell you. The Braves have won the World Series.
Yep.
The University of Georgia Bulldogs have won the national championship. And Lord in heaven knows that the Atlanta Falcons were not going to make any noise. And so the next closest thing is you got to get legendary Georgia quarterback, been an all-pro type performer for many years in the league, but like you said, has been trapped in Detroit and finally gets an opportunity with some real teammates. And what does he do in year one of that opportunity? He just drags him all the way to the Super Bowl. And then Clint. And then OBJ goes down, which you hate to see. That was a really sad moment in the game.
That was very sad.
He was broken up on the sideline. You hate to see that. But the Rams offense was nothing. They were terrible. They could not run the ball to save their life. They could not. Guys dropping balls. Guys couldn't get open. It was a disaster. And Matt Stafford took that ball in the last drive, Clint. And he said,
"Come on.
We're moving down the field.
I'm taking you to the promised land." By the way, Daniel, real quick. So what you're saying is a generational quarterback who has leadership skills can overcome injuries at key positions and still lead his team to victory. Is that what you're suggesting?
Oh,
Oh no.
well, some can, some
The
some can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
that. I appreciate it, Daniel.
Yep.
Let's talk. This is incredible for Matt Stafford. His finish stat line does not give justice to what he did on the field. 26 of 40 for 283, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The most significant being hitting Cooper Kupp not once but twice to end the game. The one got called back on the penalty. The second
Yep.
one roped on in there. That first one, Cooper Kupp took a hit. Helmet to helmet, huge slobber knocker. I thought he was out of the game after that.
Yeah.
But my goodness, toxic. We've used words like moxie before. We've used words like the it factor, those kind of phrases. But with Matthew Stafford, guys, he's just a baller. Like he's a gunslinger, but in the best sense. He's not a Brett Favre gunslinger. That's because he's not stupid. That's why he's actually judicious with the football. But he's a gunslinger in the fact that he's going to find the window, fit it in nice and perfectly. It's quintessential quarterbacking 101. Y'all know he earned his chops playing along the way. And you're exactly right. Who would have seen all this coming? Well, look at the season so far. It just is incredible to wrap this thing up with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, cementing his Hall of Fame status right now with this Super Bowl win.
Put him in there.
Put him in
there. And listen, Matt Stafford's going to throw some interceptions. You use the Brett Favre comp. It's not a terrible comp because Matt Stafford's going to throw him some interceptions. Led the league in interceptions this year. Threw a couple of interceptions tonight. Not his fault in several occasions, but you look at that last drive. It's not the touchdown pass to Cooper Kupp that wows you.
No.
It's the two before that to move you down the field where Cooper Kupp is actively being double teamed. And they're
bracketed whole entire drive.
There is no window to fit the ball in. And Matt Stafford says, I don't need a window. I don't need a door. I don't need an opening. I'll throw it through the wall. Ooh. You understand? Like I will just grip it and rip it and bring the heat in there. And like that 30-year-old arm can still whip around and deliver a football, man. And that's something that Matt Stafford's always been able to do. And you just love to see. I'm gushing. I love it for this kid and this guy, this man. And like you said, his legacy and what this means for him now. Let's shift to the other side of the coin. Matt Stafford, obviously former number 1 draft pick, University of Georgia, great representative of the Bulldog Nation. Let's talk about what this means for UGA. Does it help Georgia to have a Super Bowl winning quarterback like this? But first, want to tell you about BetOnline.net. BetOnline is, as Clint said, the place that we go to place all of our wagers. If you weren't on there this weekend, they had every possible available prop bet that you could make.
So many prop bets, Daniel.
I'm talking about coin toss. Listen, tails never fails, but it just felt like a heads year. And did I wager on heads? Yes, I did. And it came up heads. So thank you very much. BetOnline's got all of it. You get all these weird, wacky props, but they also have all the traditional betting options. Football season is officially over, but fear not. NBA is in full swing. March Madness is coming down the pipe. Golf is getting good, people. If you didn't watch any of the Waste Management Open this last weekend, it was a spectacular finish, and the Masters is right around the corner. The Players is before the Masters. So lots of betting opportunities on golf. Whatever it is, whatever your sport, bet online. They got a shiny new website. You can go there on your mobile device, on your computer. BetOnline.net. You put in your information. You make a deposit. You enter the promo code Locked On. And they are going to give you a bonus on your initial deposit for using that promo code. So you do that, you lay down your wagers, you win money, and it's just that easy. BetOnline.net is the official sportsbook partner of the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, the only one that we trust. BetOnline.net.
Daniel, the logo is going to be represented very, very well. With Matthew Stafford, with Leonard Floyd, with Sony Michel.
Got a big sack in the game. Yep, absolutely.
He did. Great move on the outside. Does this help UGA? Is this a big deal? Clearly, they're from UGA. Clearly, they're on the team. Clearly, Matt Stafford's face is going to be plastered everywhere on many more marketing materials henceforth. So it's not that. Is it a deal? Let's start there. Is it a deal? To what degree is it a big deal? Is it monumental? Is it nice? Is it cute? Where does it land on the spectrum from cute to massive deal for UGA when Matt Stafford and the rest win Super Bowls in the NFL?
This is going to sound weird, but it is a deal. It's not no deal. Okay.
Correct.
But it's not a big deal. And listen, it's certainly not as big of a deal as winning the national championship a month ago.
There you go.
That goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Winning the national championship, a much bigger deal in terms of projecting more future success. Because future success, what we all know is it's about kids coming to your program. It's about recruits. It's about being a desirable location. Well, listen, Georgia is going to be a desirable location for coaches because we've got the resources, we've got the backing, we've got the availability, we've got the head coach that is there and has now proven that he can do it. But recruits don't even really care that much, I don't think, about winning national championships. Do you know what I base that on? Georgia's last 4 recruiting classes.
There you go.
We hadn't won any national championships, and yet these kids, for some reason, wanted to come to Georgia, even though Alabama was offering them scholarships, even though Clemson was offering them scholarships. And so I don't know that it's that big of a deal to these kids to see guys like Matt Stafford and Leonard Floyd. I'll tell you what matters is those times, and there will be times, when you got those kids on the official visit, right? Maybe Auburn's in town. Okay, maybe Tennessee's in town. And you got those kids in Athens, and they're on the official visit. And looky who comes walking around the corner. Well, it just so happens to be Matt Stafford. And look at that rock on that finger that he just so happens to be wearing, that Kirby called him 3 times and said, don't you forget that ring when you come over here.
And Matt, did Kelly pack that box, right? She put that in the suitcase?
Put it in the suitcase. I think it's a deal in that respect. I think it's great for the university, but I don't know that it's monumental. I'll say that.
No, let me use another comp of another player and what he's done in the league and how this works out timing wise. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more abstract, but when you look at Eric Stokes, was he a true lockdown corner at UGA? I don't think he was a true lockdown corner. Was he a very good corner? Yes, he was. Was he one of the best corners already in the league in year 1, where I think he led the league rookie, or maybe not even rookies, but was up to the tops of the list in deflected passes, on passes defended against him, on yardage against him. Now, he wasn't that type of player at UGA, but Kirby and them and the coaches saw the potential. They saw what he could be, and he's now maturing, right, at a very, very early stage in his NFL career. Aaron Donald, 2-star, 3-star recruit.
Yeah. Out of Pittsburgh.
Good player. Yeah, out of Pitt. Good player, but all of a sudden he's now the best player in the league now, right? Okay. Matt Stafford gets in the league. Yes, he gets to represent the G. Yes, he was good in college. Yes, he was 5-star. Yes, he was one of the highest ranking recruits coming out. All of those things are true. It's a deal. It's not a massive deal. No one cares that Tom Brady was a Michigan man. No one cares about that.
Jim Harbaugh probably does.
Well, Jim Harbaugh cares about a lot of things you and I don't give 2 rats about, Daniel,
well,
if I could be honest.
That is not inaccurate.
So yeah, it is a thing. It's more a big deal for us fans. That's what's a big deal for. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we get to celebrate with them, watching them, knowing them, seeing them go on to do other things. It's going to be fun. It's a nice cherry on top with recruits. It's a nice addition to the locker room. It's a nice publication on a poster, but it's not going to move the needle light years. It's going to just kind of tip it a little.
I'll say this. It's not as important as what's going to happen in what is it, April? The NFL draft is more important than the Super Bowl.
There you
to
go.
Georgia. Getting dudes drafted. You mentioned Eric Stokes, because that's the thing Kirby points to. And all these
Yes.
kids dream about winning the Super Bowl. Of course they do. Every player that plays football dreams about winning the Super Bowl. But you got to be in the league to win a Super Bowl. And all these kids know that. Their goal is not in college, coming out of high school. Their goal is not to win a Super Bowl. They have one goal, and it's to make it to the league. And so the more guys Kirby can point at and say, I put those guys in the league. Let me say something, and just quickly before, because in segment 3, we're going to talk
Stick
a little
around.
bit about.
Stick around.
Listen, if you have ever driven past a traffic accident and you have just said, I don't want to look over there, but something in your body just compels you
Yep.
to look over there, that's going to be segment 3 today. So you want to hang around for that. So let me say this before we move on. Something that was seemingly non-UGA related that I heard at the end of this game. Okay. I'm watching Aaron Donald. You mentioned him earlier. He's the best player in football right now. I'm watching him. He makes the 2 biggest plays in the history of the Rams on 3rd down and 4th down to ice the game. And they're interviewing him after the game. He's obviously emotional. There's all these rumors that he might retire. He's living in this moment. He's got this confetti falling down. And the reporter asked, take me through those last couple plays. What are you thinking? What are you striving for? And did you hear, did you watch this, Clint? Did you see this? And did you hear the answer that he gives? He said, it's really one word. It's all I'm thinking is strain. That's what he says. He says, I'm just got to strain because this is everything. I just got to give it everything I got. And Georgia fans, listen, if that word does not ring a bell for you, then you have not been paying attention this last season to one Mr. Kirby Smart, because
your Kirbyese lexicon needs an update. We need to refresh it. That's on us. If you don't know that, we need to teach you Kirbyese a little bit more.
It is deficient, but that's all that the man has been saying. Basically, is we just want to be a team that's continually straining, that's continually giving that effort, playing through the whistle, playing every play, giving it more strain than the guy across from us. And then you hear the best player in football just coming off the field in a Super Bowl, and he's using that exact same type of vernacular, that exact same language, those exact same concepts, and you begin to realize that's what's important for Georgia. Does that make sense?
That culture setting, that value setting, that Kirby is talking exactly like a Super Bowl winning non-Georgia guy. When Kirby then goes and says, guys, I know what I'm talking about to get you to where you need to go. You're exactly right.
Guess who's saying that to Aaron Donald? The defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris or whatever, of the Los Angeles Rams. And so when Kirby is using the same kind of setting, that same kind of culture, is that same type of coaching, and it translates directly into what's being coached right there in the NFL. That's the type of thing that, might just fly under the radar, might slip past the casual average fan. But that kind of culture, Clint, that's what really matters for Georgia.
You're exactly right. Hey, we're going to come back after this, right after I tell you about Built Bar. Built Bar is the tastiest protein bar on planet Earth. Daniel and I love these things. I have had a few since I've been on keto, which, by the way, I'm done on Tuesday.
Update for the people
on Tuesday. Daniel,
ooh,
why do you do this to yourself?
You hate to see it.
Why did I do this?
Listen, all right, people, send us an email. Reach out to us on Twitter. Who had Tuesday as the day that Clint gave up his convictions and quit? Yeah. Who had the square?
Hey, but thankfully, Built Bar has been a added benefit to me during this keto because they are keto approved. They are high in protein. They are high in fiber, low in sugar, and they taste like a candy bar. These are protein bars, the best protein bar on planet Earth that taste like a candy bar. They've been a godsend to me during this time. Head over right now to BuiltBar.com. Put in the promo code LOCKEDON15. Get 15% off your entire order. 1 box, 2 box, mixed flavors, whatever flavors you have. BuiltBar.com. LOCKEDON15 for 15% off your entire order.
Clint, to quote the great Kramer, it is hideous, and yet I cannot look away.
I can't look away, and that looking away that is impossible because we are tractor beam locked on Brian Harsin and the Auburn football program. Brian Harsin, congratulations, going toe to toe with the Auburn booster. You just standing ovation for you. You know, just
Yes.
you went toe to toe with Auburn
Well
booster.
done,
Who
sir.
again? I don't want to. 2 weeks ago, on this podcast, I was talking about culture being a huge. It's not only winning, but it's how you win.
10 seconds ago, we were talking about culture on this podcast and
I
Kirby
was
Smart
talking,
and Aaron Donald. Yes.
I was
But yes, you were
specifically
talking
talking
about
about
Auburn's
Auburn
culture. Yes.
and how it doesn't matter if you win, you have to win the right way. The according to Auburn, according to boosters, according to those who have money and power. Now, the good thing, again, really quick, Georgia fan, praise the good Lord above that you have a program that handed Kirby the keys and said, "We'll see you. Have fun."
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, boosters. Thank you, AD. Thank you, everybody in the athletic department.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn did not do that with Brian Harsin's
No.
at all.
No.
And they tried to stage a firing coup on him. And
Yep.
at this point, Daniel, do you have any inclination on what story is true and what is not true at Auburn? Do you have any information whatsoever or any direction on a gut level what is true and what's not true?
How could you?
That's what I mean.
You could not, because there are conflicting reports coming out by the hour in
Correct.
terms of what. Do you remember when Tennessee attempted to hire a football coach?
There we go.
And it was just, we were throwing Hail Marys. We hired a guy.
They hired
and
Greg
then
Schiano.
The boosters came in and said, "Not him. You are not hired. You are unhired, sir."
Philip Fulmer said, "Dear sir, I do not think so."
That sounded like Michael Klump from The Office. I say, I'll sit on you. But we thought that was sort of the rock bottom of.
Turns out
you have a defunct culture in your program. But Brian Harsin came out here, went 6-7, mind you. He went 6-7.
First year in the SEC, coming from Boise State.
Yeah, went 6-7. His former players hate him.
Yeah,
he's got everyone and their brother leaving the program in droves.
Coaches, players.
He's got the 900th ranked recruiting class coming onto campus. Correct. This is at Auburn University. And the boosters said, "You know what? We're going to just get rid of this guy. We're just going to can this guy."
Can we figure out a reason? I got an idea. I don't know. Again, I have no idea what relationships Brian Harsin has with what people, and I won't, because something is fishy. This was a coup. This was a stage. Boosters wanted him out. By the way, Daniel, the boosters have gone ahead and gotten some power, because this is just in as of the 10th. The 10th of February. There's a new policy went into effect Tuesday, which states that violations may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. And it's new on the employee duty to cooperate policy within Auburn. So they couldn't fire him before. Now they have just put wording in that makes them legally able to fire Brian Harsin's for whatever reason they dream up in the future.
My favorite part is that Brian Harsin's like, "You all talk about it. I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go on vacation. Y'all try to fire me if you want, but here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come back from vacation, and I'm going to drive back into this absolute garbage can of a town that you call home, and I'm going to go back into my office. I'm going to continue to do my job because you won't have the ability to fire me." And sure enough, Brian Harsin wins. So kudos to you, Brian Harsin. For one, I'll just say, I couldn't be more thrilled that you're back at Auburn for another year.
I am happy. Honestly, there were two outcomes to this. One, Brian Harsin stays, which I say, love to see it. Two, he's fired, and the only coach available is sitting down in Gainesville still, pining after his old job, and Dan Mullen answers the call. Those are the two outcomes that were going to be the best for me in the world, and both of them
too good to be true.
Fantastic. Too good.
What if they? Well, when they're gonna fire Brian Harsin mid-season, so they still have an opportunity to hire Dan Mullen. They still have an opportunity.
Which I implore you.
Maybe Dan Mullen will go be on Urban Meyer's staff. Where's he coaching again?
Oh
no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
All right.
no.
We will be back tomorrow. We're back on the recruit train tomorrow. We're gonna be breaking down some
Ooh.
soon to be Georgia Bulldogs, current Georgia Bulldogs, soon to be on the field Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes,
And
sir.
we're going to be talking about where they fit into this offense, how they are projected to look on this team, and most importantly, who are those comps, Clint? That's what the people want to know. They want those
Yep.
comps. They need those comps.
Have to
We're going
have
to
it.
give it to them. We're going to give them to them. Check back tomorrow. Locked On Bulldogs on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. See ya.
Yeah.